Hello and welcome. This video will cover how to correctly fill out a federal W-4 form, also known as an employee's withholding certificate. The purpose of the W-4 form is so that your employer can withhold the correct federal income tax from your pay. If too little tax is withheld, you will generally owe tax when you file your return and may owe a penalty. If too much is withheld, you will generally be due a refund by the IRS. Please complete a new W-4 form when there's any changes to your personal financial situation. We will now be going over Step 1, Personal Information on the W-4 form. Please look to box A for first name and middle initial. This is where you will enter your personal information. Please be sure you do not forget to include your social security number in box B. Please be sure to look to Step 1, Section C. This is where you will indicate your current marital status. 3 options are listed. First is single or married filing separately. Second option is married filing jointly or qualifying widower. And third option is head of household. In step 2 of the W-4 form, we will discuss the multiple jobs or working spouse. This section should be completed if you hold more than one job at a time, or if you are married filing jointly and your spouse also works. Please be sure that you are only following one of the options listed under A, B, or C. If you need help to fill out the multiple job worksheet on page 3, please make sure during orientation you bring this up to the trainer on site. This sheet is the Step 2B, also known as the Multiple Jobs Worksheet. If you choose the option of Step 2B on Form W-4, please complete this worksheet, which calculates the total extra tax for all jobs. This is used when an employee has more than one job. Number 1 through 4 goes over wages if you have more than one job. If you need additional guidance filling out the multiple job worksheet, please go to your local tax preparer or agent that assists you with filing. Liberty Home Care cannot recommend what to indicate on your worksheet. Step 3 covers any dependents in your household. If your total income will be $200,000 or less, $400,000 or less if married filing jointly, you will have to fill out any qualified dependents for tax deduction. In the first line, you will multiply the number of qualifying children under the age of 17 by $2,000. The second line, you will multiply the number of other dependents by $500. Any other dependents would be a qualifying parent or a child that is over the age of 17. As an example, we will pretend that I am trying to fill out a form with 2 qualifying children under the age of 17 and an elderly parent that I take care of as a dependent living in my home. I will take $2,000 multiplied times 2 of my children, which will be a total of $4,000 in line 1. Then I will include $500 for my one dependent elderly parent. And in number 3 listed on the right-hand column, I will total those 2 numbers. The grand total to enter in line number 3 would be $4,500, which is the total amount of tax credit deduction for my dependents in my household. Step 4 is an optional section that goes over other adjustments. Section A goes over other income that's not from jobs. The example includes interest, dividends, and any retirement income. Section 4B goes over any deductions. So if you expect to claim deductions other than the standard deduction and want to reduce your withholding, please use the deductions worksheet on page 3 and enter the results here under line 4B. Section 4C goes over extra withholding. This is where an employee can enter any additional amount that you would like to be withheld during each pay period. This amount can be as low as $1 and can range to any amount that you see fit. Please remember that this is additional withholding on top of the regular federal tax that will be taken out. Extra withholding is where an employee would indicate exempt status. To claim exemption from withholding, you must certify that you meet specific conditions. There are 2 conditions that must be met. You had no federal income tax liability in 2020, or you were not required to file a return because your income was below the filing threshold for your correct filing status. Please be advised, if you claim exemption, you will have no federal income tax withheld from your paycheck, and you may owe taxes and penalties when you file your yearly tax return. Please know, if you are claiming exempt status on your federal W-4 form, you will need to submit a new W-4 form annually by February 15th of the following year. Step 5 is the employee signature portion. Please note that this form is not valid unless there is an original signature along with the date. Please be sure you do not fill out the employers only section at the bottom. This is reserved for office staff when entering you into system and for W-4 filing purposes. Failure to provide a properly completed federal W-4 form will result in your being treated as a single person with no other entries on the form. Providing any fraudulent information on your federal W-4 tax form may subject you to IRS penalties. Please know that any tax returns and withholding information is strictly confidential and covered under required code section 6103.